flip camera.
You know, seems to be like the easiest way to do it, right?
Hey, what do you say? Bobby Blitz from Overkill.
It's the main man. We're over here at Overkill at the concert, and let me see. When did you guys realize that you had such a really good throwback to 80s thrash with the latest album, Ironbound?
You know, I don't think we ever really realized that. I think it was just, you know, we had come off the road, and when you come off the road and then you go into the studio and start assembling a record, one of the unique things that you have, or a tool in your arsenal, is that you have that energy. So this is the last time we depended on each other, was on a stage. And, you know, within 4 weeks, you start recording drum tracks, and the drummer in there, Ron, is going, it's live, it's live, it's live. And that's what's coming through his head, that it actually gives a foundation for having that type of an energy. It was never a preconceived notion. It was never something that we locked in on the way of having this record take form. But what ended up happening was that we ended up with kind of a thrash record based on that energy, I think.
That's great, yeah. It sounds like some of your stuff from the 80s, you know.
It's weird. It's like a reinvention of it, I think.
Yeah, like a little bit of today with, you know.
A little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, and then all of a sudden it becomes this cohesive brick, you know, that you can break windows with. So.
I hear it, yeah. And how has label support been since you guys have moved out? You know, I know you changed labels a bunch of times, but just recently, how's it been?
E1's a great. I mean, they're a promotion machine, and that's fantastic. To have a record with this type of an impact, I mean, it charted in the States, it charted in Canada, charted really high in Germany, and I mean, I expected none of it. I thought those days were actually gone based on the download.
A little bit of a comeback, huh?
I don't know if it's a comeback. I mean, maybe it's tenacity. Before I die.
Yeah.
But having that kind of a promotion machine really helps. And this was, you know, the first promotion I ever remember as being almost fully viral. So that you know, I talked to you, Bill Meese from E1 is going to have this on Blabbermouth tomorrow. So there's, you know, you get promotion, I get promotion, we get promotion.
Sure, yeah.
The record is, let's say, hot enough to, let's say, have people turn their head and said, I didn't know that.
It's worth promoting to get into people's hands.
It's worth it, and and with that type of promotion, it's really paid off for us very well.
Oh, that's great. And this is a good one. Well, what trend in the entertainment business, not to pun the hell out of this, has become overkill? What trend in the metal industry or the entertainment industry that you think has just been done to death?
I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of the R&B stuff.
R&B?
I mean, some of the people are great singers, but I think that there's this whole you don't even have to know how to sing anymore.
Auto-tune, right?
Yeah. And
how much auto-tune did you use on the last album?
Zero.
Okay, for the record.
I'm very proud of. Zero.
For the record, that's zero.
I've used it in the past when I've had trouble, and I obviously don't use it excessively, which is obvious when you hear me sing. But the idea is that there's something. I hate the word organic, but there's something really organic about doing it the right way.
Right.
And we're a combination of new school and old school. We have to sit in a room with each other and get ideas across and kind of smell the sweat, and somebody cracks a beer and somebody goes, that's bullshit, and somebody walks out. But you also have at your disposal MP3s, and you can get ideas across to each other instantaneously.
Yeah, through the internet, send them back and forth.
Hey, it's old school, new school approach to things. It's sweat, but it's also send. So that's kind of cool, and I think we've taken advantage of new school technology, obviously.
Sure, yeah.
But with old school principles.
Gotta these days. Seems that way. What's the one thing you can justify killing someone for? Not really. Wow. We're not saying you would.
Is this like a Metal Sludge interview? You know that?
We try to keep it light with not all the same. Everyone asks the same questions. You know that.
Justification for death.
In fantasy.
In fantasy, justification.
For me, it's bad driving. It's bad driving.
Really? So it's like that whole.
It's one of those things.
You got to read this book called The Iceman. It's about the serial killer out of New Jersey who did all these murders for the mob, and that's what his justification was. Besides pay, was bad drivers.
No kidding.
Yeah, I mean he would just put his foot through windshields.
I'm a potential serial killer.
Rip doors off the side of cars. Richard Kaczynski was his name. It's called The Iceman. And,
I've heard of The Iceman, yeah.
But it's supposedly a true story, and it's a biography about him they did with somebody else. But my justification for killing somebody, killing would breed killing for me.
Right.
And depending on who that was.
Ah, okay.
If someone took the first step, then they've tossed down the gauntlet.
Right.
And all the rules are up.
It would be if someone came on to you. Came to you with the fight, you know what I mean?
No, I don't have that in me. I
All
don't
right.
have that in me. I'm much more of this kind of guy who says, hey, listen,
A lover, not a fan.
No, it's more about acceptance.
All
And
right.
listen, you're a fucking maniac. Just, hit the road.
Beat it. You guys rarely feature guest artists. I mean, except for you have Lamb of God, the Ranger from
Sure.
Lamb of God. How do you guys had to change stuff up in the studio to keep yourselves, I don't know, more on your toes as you record an album? Do you try to any new techniques? Have you brought anything, something like that?
I think it's really simple. I think a man stops learning, a man stops progressing. If he says to himself, I know it all, it's okay, then it's all about what you've done. But I think that if you're open enough to understand that other people do things better, and how do I obtain that? We just did this tour in Europe, for instance, and there's a band, an upcoming German band called Kripper, and they have this female singer who can sing like an angel, but also sing like Randy from Lamb of God.
Yeah, I love
and
that.
I love it too, and everything in between. I mean, she can do me if she wants to,
Right.
and that's kind of weird because it doesn't fall on either end of it.
Yeah, real deep range.
And I was so curious on how she warms up, and she does the lightest warm-ups I've ever seen. I mean, she does these, they're called balloon warm-ups, where you actually feel like when you're warming your voice up, that you're pulling a balloon out of the air, and then you let the balloon go, and the note that you're warming up with, how soft can you do the note? And I said, man, it's a mind-blowing experience. So my point is that if I'm willing to learn that from somebody who's starting out, then I'm still progressing to some degree. And this becomes part of the nuance, or part of the reason that keeps these things interesting. I sat down with this guy once, I'm doing vocals, it was a local studio. I said, listen man, all I want is 12 hours a day that you're around if I have a fucking idea.
Right.
And you tell me, okay, in 4 hours you can come in, that's great. I said, man, I'm not thin-skinned, you can tell me it sucks.
Yeah.
And you can also tell me, hey, I have an idea that can be done better. And that will always get the best final result. So if I'm not afraid to learn, I'm always going to be interested in this. If I am afraid to learn, it's all over. It's all done. It has no value in 2010.
Yeah.